Happiness is like a shadow. The more you chase it, the more it eludes you. This reflection by Dostoevsky confronts us with a disturbing reality. What if the very pursuit of happiness is driving it away? We live in an era of unprecedented abundance. Advanced technology, comforts unimaginable to past generations, instant access to information. Yet, a sense of emptiness permeates our society. Why does modern life feel so empty? This is the question we'll explore today, diving deep into philosophy and psychology to unravel the mystery of our collective discontent. Throughout this video, we'll examine how the loss of purpose in modern society is affecting our search for meaning. We'll see how an existential crisis in today's world is manifesting in subtle ways, often going unnoticed, but silently stealing our happiness. Prepare for an intellectual journey that will challenge your perceptions, and who knows, might change the way you see the world around you. But before we dive in, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered if you're really living or just existing? Our first stop in this exploration is the concept of modern nihilism and its effects. Friedrich Nietzsche, the 19th century German philosopher, declared that God is dead. But what does this really mean, and how does it relate to our pursuit of happiness today? Nietzsche wasn't making a theological statement, but rather a profound cultural observation. He realized that Western society was rapidly moving away from its traditional religious and moral roots. With the rise of scientific thought and rationalism, the old structures of meaning were crumbling. Nietzsche's concept of God is dead goes far beyond the death of a deity. It's the death of a system of values and meanings that had guided people's lives for millennia. Without this system, Nietzsche predicted that humanity would face an unprecedented existential void. And isn't that exactly what we're experiencing today? Look around you. We live in a world of material abundance, but many of us feel an inner emptiness that no material goods seem capable of filling. We have more options than ever, but less certainty about what really matters. This is modern nihilism in action, stealing our happiness without us even realizing it. But what exactly are we losing? What's been stolen from us without our noticing? The answer might lie in the concept of rituals, as proposed by contemporary philosopher Byung-Chul Han. Han argues that rituals play a crucial role in creating meaning in our lives. They're not just repetitive actions, but anchors that connect us to something greater than ourselves. Rituals and their role in meaning go far beyond religious practices. They can be found in our daily routines, family traditions, and cultural practices. However, in our rush to embrace the efficiency and convenience of modern life, many of these rituals have been left behind. Family meals have become quick snacks in front of the TV. Face-to-face conversations have been replaced by text messages. Community celebrations have given way to endless scrolling on social media. This erosion of rituals significantly contributes to the feeling that modern life lacks depth and meaning. But here's the question. Did you notice this change? Or did it happen so gradually that you didn't even realize what you were losing? Now, let's take a step back and examine how we got to this point. The search for meaning and purpose in life isn't new. It's a question that has tormented philosophers and thinkers for millennia. However, the context in which we seek this meaning has changed drastically. In modern society, we're bombarded with messages about what we should achieve, how we should look, and what we should own to be happy. This constant external pressure leads us to a state of perpetual anxiety, always feeling that we're not enough or that we're falling behind. This phenomenon is closely tied to Dostoevsky's concept of the underground man. In Dostoevsky's analysis of the underground man, we see a character tormented by his own consciousness, constantly analyzing and questioning every aspect of his existence. The underground man is a precursor to the modern individual, trapped in an endless cycle of self-analysis and doubt. He represents the alienation of human beings in a society that values reason above all else, but fails to provide a genuine sense of existence. It's not hard to see parallels between the underground man and the modern individual. We live in an era of information overload and constant self-examination. Social media allows us to compare our lives with idealized versions of others' lives 24/7. This leads to a vicious cycle of overthinking and mental health issues, overthinking and mental health are intrinsically linked to our pursuit of happiness. We spend so much time analyzing our lives, our choices, and our feelings that we often forget to simply live. This excess of introspection can lead to existential paralysis, where we're so worried about making the right choice that we end up making no choice at all. But what if I told you that this obsession with making the right choice is exactly what's stealing your happiness? What if the key to a more satisfying life isn't in finding the perfect path, but in embracing the uncertainty and imperfection of the journey? This brings us back to modern life and existentialism. Existentialism, a philosophical school that gained prominence in the 20th century, argues that individuals are solely responsible for giving meaning to their lives. In a world without inherent meaning, it's up to us to create our own purpose. However, this existential freedom can be overwhelming. Without traditional structures of meaning to guide us, many of us feel lost. It's as if we're floating in a vast ocean without a compass or stars to orient us. The search for meaning in modern times has become more complex than ever. We have more freedom of choice than any previous generation, but this freedom comes at a price. Each decision carries the weight of responsibility, and the fear of making the wrong choice can be paralyzing. This paradox of choice, as described by psychologist Barry Schwartz, suggests that the more options we have, the more anxious and dissatisfied we become. Instead of liberating us, the excess of choices traps us in an endless cycle of doubt and regret. So how can we navigate this new existential territory? How can we find meaning and purpose in a world that seems increasingly chaotic and meaningless? The answer might lie in a return to rituals, but not necessarily in the way we knew them in the past. Byung-Chul Han argues that we need to create new rituals that align with our modern reality, but still connect us to something greater than ourselves. These new rituals can be as simple as dedicating time every day for silent reflection, or as elaborate as organizing regular dinners with friends and family. The important thing is that they help us create islands of stability and meaning amidst the chaos of modern life. But make no mistake, creating meaning in a seemingly meaningless world is not an easy task. It's a challenge that requires courage, creativity, and above all, persistence. As Nietzsche reminds us, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. This why of Nietzsche's is fundamental to understanding how we can overcome modern nihilism. It's not about finding a universal purpose or an absolute truth, but rather creating a personal meaning that motivates and sustains us. For Nietzsche, overcoming nihilism comes through the concept of amor fati, love of fate. This doesn't mean passively accepting everything that happens, but actively embracing our life, with all its joys and pains, as something necessary and valuable. This attitude of life affirmation is a powerful antidote to the existential void that many of us experience. Instead of constantly seeking happiness as a final state to be achieved, we can find satisfaction in the very process of living, creating, and overcoming challenges. But how can we apply these philosophical concepts to our everyday life? How can we transform these ideas into concrete actions that help us reclaim our stolen happiness? One practical approach is what psychologist Viktor Frankl calls logotherapy. Based on his experiences as a Holocaust survivor, logotherapy proposes that the main motivating force in human beings is to find meaning in life. Frankl argues that we can discover this meaning in three main ways: by creating work or doing a deed, by experiencing something or encountering someone, and by the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering. These three pathways to meaning offer a practical framework for combating the existential void of modern life. They remind us that meaning is not something we passively find, but something we actively create through our choices and actions. Another crucial concept for reclaiming our happiness is what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi calls flow. The state of flow is one where we're completely immersed in an activity, losing track of time and self-awareness. Csikszentmihalyi argues that flow experiences are fundamental to a satisfying life. They allow us to transcend everyday concerns and connect with something greater than ourselves. In many ways, the state of flow can be seen as a modern form of ritual, providing the kind of meaning and connection that many of us crave. But how can we cultivate more flow experiences in our lives? Csikszentmihalyi suggests that it involves finding a balance between challenge and skill. Activities that are too easy bore us, while those that are too difficult frustrate us. The sweet spot is in the middle, where we're challenged but capable of overcoming those challenges. This brings us back to the issue of overthinking and mental health. Often, our excess of analysis and worry prevents us from entering the state of flow. We get so stuck in our own heads that we lose the ability to lose ourselves in the present moment. Here, mindfulness and meditation practices can be powerful tools. These techniques, derived from ancient spiritual traditions, but now backed by modern science, help us train our attention and free ourselves from the endless cycle of ruminative thoughts. Jon Kabat-Zinn, one of the pioneers of mindfulness application in the West, defines the practice as paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. This attitude of acceptance and presence can be a powerful antidote to the anxiety and existential void that many of us experience. But don't be fooled. Cultivating mindfulness is not a quick or easy solution. Like any skill, it requires consistent practice and patience. However, the potential benefits, including stress reduction, improved mental health, and a deeper sense of meaning and purpose, make the effort worthwhile. Now let's return to the central question. What's stealing our happiness in modern life? We can identify several main thieves: the erosion of meaningful rituals, the excess of choices, and the resulting paralysis, the constant social comparison facilitated by technology, the loss of connection with something greater than ourselves, and the excessive focus on the pursuit of happiness itself. Each of these thieves represents a unique challenge, but they all share a common root: disconnection from what truly matters in our lives. Contemporary philosopher Alain de Botton argues that one of the main failings of modern society is its inability to provide a genuine sense of community and belonging. In his book Religion for Atheists, de Botton suggests that even in a secular age, we can learn much from traditional religious practices about creating meaning and connection. This doesn't mean a return to organized religion, but rather a critical re-evaluation of how we structure our lives and societies. What kinds of collective rituals could we create that would provide the sense of community and transcendence that many of us crave? An interesting example comes from the Sunday Assembly movement, started by secular philosophers who recognized the need for collective gathering and reflection. These meetings offer many of the social and psychological benefits of traditional religious services, without the need for supernatural beliefs. Another crucial aspect of reclaiming our stolen happiness is re-examining our relationship with work. In modern society, work often becomes the center of our identities, leading to a dangerous imbalance in our lives. Philosopher Bertrand Russell, in his essay In Praise of Idleness, argues that our obsession with work is not only unnecessary, but actively harmful to our well-being. He proposes a drastic reduction in working hours, allowing more time for leisure, culture, and personal development. While Russell's vision might seem utopian, it raises important questions about how we structure our lives and societies. Is our relentless pursuit of productivity and material success costing us something more valuable? Psychologist Abraham Maslow, known for his hierarchy of needs, argued that the ultimate goal of human development is self-actualization, the full realization of our potential. However, Maslow also recognized that this level of fulfillment is only possible when our basic needs for safety, belonging, and esteem are met. This brings us back to the issue of social and economic inequality in our modern societies. How can we expect people to find meaning and purpose when they're constantly struggling to survive? This is a reminder that the pursuit of a meaningful life is not just an individual question, but also a collective social responsibility. As we approach the end of this exploration, it's important to recognize that there are no easy or universal solutions to the existential challenges we face. The search for meaning and purpose is a deeply personal journey, influenced by our individual experiences, values, and circumstances. However, there are some strategies we can consider to reclaim our stolen happiness. We can cultivate meaningful rituals, creating regular practices that connect us with something greater than ourselves. This can be as simple as a daily walk in nature, or as elaborate as organizing weekly dinners with friends and family. We can practice gratitude, recognizing and appreciating the good things in our lives. Studies show that this habit can significantly increase our well-being. We can engage in flow activities, identifying and participating in activities that challenge and absorb us completely. Cultivating meaningful connections is crucial. Investing in deep and authentic relationships can be one of the most powerful ways to find meaning and happiness. The quality of our social connections is one of the strongest predictors of well-being. Practicing mindfulness can help us be more present in the moment, reducing anxiety about the future and regrets about the past. Contributing to something greater than ourselves, whether through volunteering or simply helping others in our daily life, can provide a profound sense of purpose. Balancing ambition and acceptance is another important strategy. We should strive to improve and grow, but also practice acceptance of the things we cannot change. The Stoic concept of amor fati can be a powerful tool here. Regularly questioning our assumptions, examining our beliefs and values, can help us ensure that we're living in accordance with what truly matters to us. Cultivating curiosity and maintaining a lifelong learning attitude can enrich our experiences and help us maintain perspective. Finally, practicing detachment can help us recognize that happiness doesn't come from acquiring things or achieving specific goals, but from appreciating the process of life itself. Remember, happiness is not a destination to be reached, but a way of traveling. It's not something we find, but something we create through our daily choices, actions, and attitudes. As philosopher and psychoanalyst Erich Fromm said, happiness is the realization of our full potential. It's the full realization of what one is. This perspective reminds us that true happiness doesn't come from outside, but from within, from aligning our actions with our deepest values and realizing our unique potential. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with a challenge. In the next 24 hours, identify one aspect of your life where you feel your happiness is being stolen. It might be a negative habit, a toxic relationship, or simply a limiting belief. Then, take a concrete action, no matter how small, to reclaim that happiness. Remember, change begins with awareness. By recognizing what's stealing our happiness, we take the first step towards reclaiming it. And by sharing our experiences and insights, we can inspire and support each other in this collective journey towards a more meaningful and satisfying life. Thank you for embarking on this philosophical exploration with me. If this video resonated with you, don't hesitate to share your reflections in the comments. After all, it's through dialogue and the exchange of ideas that we continue to grow and evolve as individuals and as a society. Until next time, where we'll continue to explore the depths of human existence and the eternal quest for a well-lived life.